I understand we have an eclipse coming, but not for us.
No, well, yes and no. No, we can't see it in the United States. It's one of those lands down under like Tasmania kind of thing. However, it's important. It's Thursday, and it's a solar eclipse. It's a partial solar eclipse. And what it's telling you is where the energy is going to shift to next year.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like a harbinger of things to come. And if you know what area of your life it's going to be occurring in, you can make conscious choices to help bring that about, rather than just hoping to manifest the way you want it to.
Gotcha.
So, for Cancer, the sign that we're in, this is the first eclipse in almost 19 years on their sign. So it's very, very liberating, and I think, again, it's important for the United States because we're a Cancer. It's very liberating, it's very freeing, it's very empowering for Cancers everywhere. Normally, they have the hardest time articulating what they want and need, and it is going to be crystal clear to everybody what Cancers want and what they need, and finally they're going to take steps to make that happen, do whatever it is to meet their wants and needs according to how they define it. For Leos, they have spent, since February of 2017 through actually this coming February, reinventing themselves and creating something new about themselves and giving them a new lease on life and a new start one way or the other. Now that that's done, they don't want to keep expanding that. They want to go ahead and find a way to incorporate that into every core of their being, making that transition over 2 years. And this is the harbinger of what they can make happen and what they can achieve out of it. So, and I'm thinking like work out of your home if you're really cool, Leo, is what I'm thinking.
Heard you.
Points at you. For Virgos, this eclipse is in their 11th house of hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives. And over the next 2 years, they are going to really be motivating their friends and acquaintances to help the Virgo get what the Virgo wants. So the Virgo is changing their goals they made some professional changes. And now they really want to kind of take that show on the road and see how it plays in Peoria, kind of a deal.
Gotcha.
And their friends will help them achieve that. For Libras, this energy is going to be in their 10th house of career and public standing. And Libras made a bunch of new starts 2 years ago. Now they're trying to make more money about it, but they're really starting to take a hard look over the next few years about their professional choice. And is it the right one for them? And if it is, great. If it's not, what kind of educational opportunities can they get over the next 2 years that can enable them to get to the next place in their professional evolution? For Scorpios, this is in their 9th house of the law. Legal matters, educational matters, important matters at a distance. They've had quite the change professionally over the last 2 years or so with this eclipse cycle. And now that that is all done, they get to learn something very useful about their world and to almost rebrand themselves and start over again. For Sagittarians, this energy is in the 8th house of profound transformations. And Sagittarians things have gone very, very well for Sagittarians over the last year or so. They've consolidated a bunch of stuff, and now they really want to take a look at their finances and the resources they share with other people and make sure that the resource that they share with other people, they're getting something out of it rather than just letting somebody else use their resource. It needs to be a two-way street with all of their resources. For Capricorns, this energy is in their 7th house of partners and open enemies and intimate one-to-one relationships. Over the next 2 years or so, Capricorns are going to be examining each and every one of their one-to-one relationships to see whether it meets their wants and needs or not. If it does, great, you want to build on that and enhance on it, and Saturn will allow you to do that. But if it's not, they're going to see energy chipping away at the structures that have outlived their usefulness in your life, whether you think it's time for them to go or not. For Aquarians, this energy is in their 6th house of work, health, and responsibilities. And for Aquarians, it means it's time to revamp where it is they do their job. Not necessarily the job that they do, but where it is they do that and how it impacts them and their health. And they really are going to examine over the next 2 years every single one of their responsibilities. And they're going to decide which ones they want to keep and which ones they really don't want. They want to kind of pass on. And it is not going to be the easiest of processes, so it's good to have a clue now about what you want to do and what you need to do to make that happen. For Pisces, it's in their 5th house of love affairs, children, sports, amusements, pleasures, anything fun, anything entertaining, all of that. Good time to have children, good time to take on children, good time to work with children, good time to bring love into your life. It's a very fertile, productive time for Pisces in general. For Aries, it's about their home. It's about the next 2 years, they're really going to want to pare down their home to something they can manage. It's a good time to get rid of a big property and get into something a little smaller. It's a good time to consolidate those resources and make sure that your foundations are solid and secure. And then for Tauruses, they have a lot of short duration travel over the next 2 years or so, and it's just starting. So what that tells me is that they are going to be rebuilding their day-to-day living into something they can manage rather than, because they've spent a lot of time being pulled in a bunch of different directions trying to be all things to all people, and they're finding out that they are really in control of their schedule and they need to make it something that they can manage. I'm not saying do it overnight, but over the next 2 years it'll evolve into something that's pretty decent for the Taurus, which is the best of all worlds. And then for Gemini, the last sign of the zodiac, it's about the money. It's about making more money. It's about finding a way to work with the existing resources that you have, trying to capitalize existing resources, maximize existing resources. And it's going to take labor on your part to do it. This is not money just falling out of the sky on you. This is hard work will pay off financially. And I think that's good for the United States because we're a Cancer and our rising sign is Gemini. So I think that's good for us financially. So all in all, I'm pretty excited about this eclipse. At least for me, a Virgo won't be bad.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think it's good new starts. Every 18.9 years, you got to kind of wipe the slate clean and start over.
I hear you. I'll see you next week. We'll do it again.
Always a pleasure.